While in the merry month of May, now from me home I started, left the girls and children.
Hello, I'm Speechless Mouse, the world's only consulting detective. I invented the profession. What's that? No, he didn't. I'm the world's only consulting detective. Fine, I'll read you the scariest story in Artur Conan Doyle's book. Scariest story for a cat, that is. The Hound of the Baskervilles. It was a stormy night. Very stormy night. And Choco Cat was being chased down the street by an enormous black dog. And who was to come to the rescue? The world's only consulting detective, Speechless Mouse. She was on the dog's trail for ages. She could deduce anything, because she could tell, for example, that the mud on his tail came from the sewers, and that his footprints could only possibly be left by that one particular dog, and from the bite mark on Choco Cat's butt. What? That's how it goes. Artur Conan Doyle didn't write it. I wrote it. And then she ran right up to the dog and turned into her Sailor Senshi form and used her Galactica flash attack to destroy the dog. And then Choco Cat was happy, and he asked her to marry him because she was so cute and so beautiful, and he gave her roses, and then they got married, and they lived happily ever after, all because of her great deductive skills. What do you mean Sherlock Holmes never gets married? Well, he should. Anyways, I'm going to get married one day. Shoo. Really, Choco Cat, I can be a great detective. I smoke a pipe. I wear a deerstalker hat and a ridiculous-looking British-type bathrobe. What do you mean Sherlock Holmes never wears a deerstalker hat in the book? Of course, he's on the cover with a deerstalker hat. It was only the illustrator's idea? How do you know so much about these books? Oh, so you think if I actually read the story, I'd be a better detective? Oh. Okay. Anyways, Choco Cat, let's read another one. How about A Study in Scarlet? Or The Adventure of the Dancing Man. Holmes had been seated for some hours in silence with his long, thin back curved over a chemical vessel in which he was brewing a particularly malodorous product. His head was sunk upon his breast, and he looked from my point of view like a strange, lank bird with dull grey plumage and a black top knot. "So, Watson," said he suddenly, "do you not propose to invest in South African securities?" I gave a start of astonishment. Accustomed as I was to Holmes's curious faculties, this sudden intrusion into my most intimate thoughts was utterly inexplicable. "How on earth do you know that?" I asked. He wheeled around his stool with the steaming test tube in hand, and a gleam of amusement in his deep-set eyes. "Now, Watson, confess yourself utterly taken aback," said he. "I am. I ought to make you sign a paper to that effect." "Why?" "Because in 5 minutes you will say that it is so absolutely simple." "I am sure that I shall say nothing of the kind." "You see, my dear Watson," he propped his test tube in the rack and began to lecture with the air of a professor addressing his class. "It is not really difficult to construct a series of inferences, each dependent upon its predecessor, and each simple in itself. If, after doing so, one simply knocks out all the central inferences and presents one's audience with the starting point and the conclusion, one may produce a startling, though possibly a meretricious effect. Now, it was not really difficult, by instruction of the groove between your left forefinger and thumb to feel sure that you did not propose to invest your small capital in the gold fields. I see no connection. Very likely not, but I can quickly show you a close connection. Here you are missing links of a very simple chain. You had chalk between your left finger and thumb when you returned from the club last night. You put chalk there when you played billiards to steady the cue. You never played billiards except with Thurston. You told me 4 weeks ago that Thurston had an option on some South African property which could expire in a month and which he desired you to share with him. Your checkbook is locked in my drawer and you have not asked for the key. You do not propose to invest your money in this matter. How absurdly simple, I cried. Quite so, said he, a little nettled. Every problem becomes childish when once it is explained to you. Here is an unexplained one. See what you can make of that, my friend Watson.
Well, in the merry month of May, now from me home I started, left the girls and two, and nearly broken-hearted, saluted father dear, kissed me darling mother, drank a pint of beer, me grief and tears to smothered enough to reap the corn and leaf, for I was born, got a stout McFarland, the Spanish coast, and goblets, a brand new pair of brogues to rock the love of the bogs and frighten all the dogs on the rocky roads. A double of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt a hare, a turn her down the rocky roads, and all the ways to double and make for all the dogs.